Welcome to Transformed, Real Stories, Real Faith. Listen on Spotify, Facebook, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Join us as we break free.
All right, so now we're back with Ben Little, part two. Just a little recap, Ben. I guess we started where you grew up in Mississippi, in
Yep.
Brandon. I'm gonna let you do the recap, just a quick recap of episode one, just in case someone missed it.
All right. So just recounted my past life. Just being born and raised in Mississippi and living in Connecticut for a brief while, and going through life just searching for meaning, and ultimately led to a pain pill addiction. Led up to heroin, and then there were some tough battles that I had, losing everything I had accomplished in my life and gained, and um just ultimately led to me having a desire to just no longer live. And after a uh, suicide attempt, I moved back to Mississippi. And unfortunately, the only thing that changed then was the drug of choice. And more poor decisions ultimately led me to getting sentenced to 20 years in NDOC, and where I served 5 years and paroled out November of 21. And since that time, I've gone on to get my associate's, bachelor's, master's degree in counseling, and I will be starting the PhD program at Mississippi State in August. And I've worked for a treatment center for 4 years, and for the last 2 years, I have founded and been the executive director of Transformative Living, which is a faith-based therapeutic sober living community in the Golden Triangle area.
That brings that's who brings us the podcast by it's hosted on their page. I'd like to add, so pretty much you planted a seed and hope that it would grow, and it has grown bigger than I imagined it at the time. That's good. So now we know the story, we know the name. Now we're just gonna get to know you. So I'm going to ask you some questions. These have not been rehearsed. You don't know them. I'll be honest with you, I don't know them. But I found them.
Okay.
And I think now if it starts getting if they start getting sad,
Yeah.
I'll just we'll move on. But all right. I already asked you the first one because I told you what we were doing. So the second one, think of someone you would like to hug. Who is that person? Who would you like to give a hug to? You could say me. Go ahead. I don't care. I know it's me. Go ahead.
Well, if I wanted to be deceitful, I would say you, John.
All right. So, but if you could name, if you could name someone, anyone you could hug, and not that they have to be living and it can't be a relative.
Oh, it can't be okay. Well, just
I'm adding that. I want to. Yeah, because I think everybody would say you and I know would say our mothers, but
yeah. Well, I think that my answer would be my son Braxton, that I haven't seen since he was 3 years old, and he's 16 now. So
yeah.
that's kind of one of the consequences of past actions that I carry with every day, and just pray that God will restore that relationship either here on earth or in heaven. So I would say that, but as a family member, I would probably say, that's a very good question. So I'm gonna go with my favorite football player, Jason Witten.
Okay. Jason Witten.
Yeah. One of the greatest tight ends to ever play, number 82, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I don't think he's that great. I mean, the greatest ever.
I mean, subject to an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was loyal. He stayed with the one team except for that 1 year he played it for the Raiders, but that doesn't count.
Loyal.
Or my guy, Michael Jordan. I mean, we could just go from one or the other, but you're probably a LeBron fan, so.
Well, no, Michael. I'm a Michael side. I remember back in the day when what happened. His dad got caught up in some gambling stuff. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
When his dad got murdered?
Well, I think it was. I don't know. This isn't a conspiracy theory show, but I'm gonna tell you what I heard. And of course, it wasn't anybody close to Michael Jordan. I think
Yeah,
it was this. I think it was an old dude that was putting
and
my.
G Wood and
Yeah,
Greenwood.
no. Well, it was changing my oil, so he's qualified to tell me that he owed some gambling debt. But I mean, not to him, but you're gonna tell me that the guy was murdered over gambling debt. How much could it have been? Michael Jordan was the highest paid athlete at the time. At
Yeah,
any rate, so
yeah,
you would hug a dude. I
yeah.
forget his name. Moving on. What is the most important thing you have ever done other than start transformative living? The most important thing you've ever done.
Um, besides accepting Jesus as my Lord and Savior, or was that
Yeah, I
yeah,
would say that would be the most important thing anyone's ever done. So everybody could share that answer. So let's take away that and take away founding transformative living. What
yeah?
would you say the most important things you've done?
I would probably say getting married to my wife Sheila in 2018 while I was still incarcerated, just because of all of the obstacles we overcame through the transition from incarceration, going from attempting to live with 110 dudes on a zone to a female is a pretty tall task, and
Yeah.
so, but just having that stability and just someone in your corner, living a life of addiction is kind of hopeless, and then incarceration. So just having somebody that I knew was there, that was in my corner, that was always cheering for me, even whenever it wasn't deserved. Probably the I probably would
Did
have
it
to go with there.
did it take you a little time to get used to having that person in your corner and
Yeah.
believing that they really were?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my past is, just a lot of people abandoning and leaving. And so, that's kind
Mhm.
of part of my backstory. So just having to overcome that initial expectation that they're just going to leave anyway. So, why invest, or either let me just push them away before they
Mhm.
just,
Mm.
leave.
Right. All right. All right. So that's a good answer. I I would agree that would probably be mine with my wife.
Yeah.
Number two, well, the next question. Someone gives you an elephant and you can't sell or give it away. What do you
Yeah.
do with it? What are you doing with the elephant?
Can I leave it?
Where? Like you got to leave it somewhere. You can't sell it or give it away.
All right. So I think I'll just have to build a bigger fence and get a bunch of peanuts and
Do they now?
open up a petting zoo.
Yeah, look, charge.
Yeah.
I'd pay a buck or two. I remember they used to let you ride them at certain things.
Yeah, I
There's a
remember one time you petting a camel, so I think it would be kind of the same
Yeah, yeah. That was at
philosophy.
a Mississippi State baseball game.
Yeah,
I sure did. I put my hand on a camel.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know the reason he was there. I'm hoping it was planned. Otherwise, there's a lot of questions that have to be asked. All right, Lord, this would be great. If you could choose, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna answer this one for you, and you can answer it for me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The question is now. You remember, you're gonna answer it for me. I'll answer it for you. But if you
Okay.
could choose one song to play when I walk into a room, what would you choose? All right, come on. I ain't even done it yet. Come on, Ben. What would you play?
I thought you were gonna go first.
No, you're gonna go back.
You gotta go first.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Dude looks like a lady.
Oh,
All right, all right, your time.
I think I have to go with Purple Rain.
What's that about though? Or is it just the style I bring? I don't know what Purple Rain's about. So
I just think Prince singing a song for your intro would be the way.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. Okay. Um. Okay. Well. Oh. That's not. If you could have any if you could have any superhero power, what would it be and why?
Whoa.
If you want to cancel it, we can.
No.
It's obviously fly. If it's not fly, I have no idea what you would do.
What if
What
I'm
would you
afraid
want?
of heights?
That would be like saying you're scared to walk. Like you can do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a fear. It would be you doing it.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
it's fly. It's fly. Or would you want to be invisible?
No.
Say because I was checking your creep level.
Yeah. How could I be
And you
dude look like a
passed.
lady and want to be invisible?
Couldn't. Because you're exactly right. It's a law of contradiction. You can't be being and non-being at the same time. So, what would you do if you were the only survivor of a plane crash? God, go to counseling. I mean, I guess. And look, I come to you. You type in funny questions to ask,
Yeah.
and it says, "What would you do if you were the only survivor of a plane crash?" Has no humor whatever. All right, are you a gatherer or a hunter? I'd peg you for a hunter.
A gatherer or a hunter? There is not another thing in my life that I would rather do than sit in a deer stand. I am definitely a gatherer.
But what I'm saying, the mentality, I'm not saying you're not the pick and berry type, I don't think.
No.
See, I think you're more of a getting it done. So I look as a hunter, the leading type, and a
Okay.
gatherer. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not reading it. And a gatherer's to support a supporting role.
So am I a
And
leader or a follower? Is that what you're asking?
yes,
Oh,
but I would say leader.
yeah.
But a good leader knows when to be a follower.
Yeah, and you're only leading if there's anyone following.
Well, that's a good point. But you don't have to look behind. You get what I'm saying?
That's
You don't have to check. You can be as famous as you want to be. All right, let me go back over here. If you could give advice to all the children, all right. So I would. This is an interesting question. If you could give one piece of advice to all the children of this world, what would it be? And that is a serious one.
yeah.
What would it be? I
Uh
mean, of course, to get saved.
yeah, but I mean I think that from well if I could go back and tell myself, I think that a lot of it would be that God loves us in a way that is so much different from the people that we trusted in the beginning of our lives.
Uh-huh.
Um and just and then from a yeah. And then,
Yeah.
obviously if I was gonna say something, that would directly get to my son, it would be that poor decisions and being absent from a life doesn't necessarily mean that your family doesn't think about you every day and love you in spite of their
Right.
bad decisions.
Yeah. Um, and maybe he'll hear that. Uh, that's a prayer of mine for you.
Yeah, thanks.
So all right, here we go.
All right.
So if you could ask anyone, all right, so I'm sorry. Let me if I'm get this together. If you can ask anything you want to anyone you want, what would you ask? Say that 3 times fast. I could try reading it again and mess it up. So let me do it. If you could ask anyone anything you wanted, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Jesus and
All right, what would you ask him?
what he wrote in the dirt.
That was gonna be mine. I was just telling Heather that story. How
Yep.
like how I was thinking of content to put on the page
Yep.
because I found if you want followers or engagement,
Yep.
you give them something that there's two choices,
Yep.
and neither one of them are wrong or right because they can't be proven.
Yep.
But they'll go at it. I got 10,000 views in the first 2 days on video that I asked if it was a ball or a strike from a 10-year-old video,
Yep.
like 10-year-old softball video. Anyone. Good. So if you were to become a dinosaur tomorrow, what would you like which one would you be? Is it gonna be a raptor?
Yeah, I'm not a real big, archaeology type of person, so I'm
You
gonna
know what a raptor is, though.
I'm gonna go with a T-Rex.
Oh yeah, but they have. I mean, they're
They're extinct.
vulnerable. Yeah.
They're
Well, so is a
extinct.
raptor. Uh.
Have you seen the Raptors play basketball?
Are they still a team? Toronto?
I mean, talk
You
about
know,
irrelevance.
I have. I
Yep.
saw him play the Memphis Grizzlies. I think no, that was the Trailblazers. Never mind.
Yep.
I did get to see Kobe Bryant play twice in Memphis.
Yeah.
Before he died. Well, obviously
You
before he
sure?
died. So if you could, all right, if you could have lunch with anyone, dead or alive, non-relative, who would it be? And it can't be Jesus. Jesus, I would have a ton of questions to ask Jesus. It can be somebody from the Bible, but who would it be, and what?
Let's see. That's a very good question.
Yep. So some people choose authors. I know
Yeah.
somebody I've asked that too chose Willie Morris.
Yeah.
Uh, and me, I would probably, and I'm probably gonna go Bible with this one. Noah.
Yeah.
Because Noah's he liked the Psalms, didn't he? So like I wonder, I don't know, like what the first question I'd ask him was, so even addiction was a thing back then.
Yeah.
So and mental illness was, I think, more considered demonic back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you got references as far as the man that was at the cemetery that
Yeah.
ran and jumped off the bridge, and I think it was 3,000 swan or the pigs.
Like,
You
yeah,
know, they left
Jesus
him the
cast
evil
them into the
spirit. Yeah.
pond. Yeah.
And then the Jezebel spirit. So there's a lot of references to it. It was just different names. I think back then, you know, there wasn't really a known title for it. So it was essentially anything that was different was kind of
Yeah.
given a broadened example. I would probably say for my answer to that question is I would probably if I'm gonna go biblical, I would probably say John. And not
Which one?
not the young John that,
Okay.
but the John that wrote, all the book, not when he was young, but the
Right, but
older,
after he lived.
yeah, after he endured all of the pain and suffering and, was sent to the island of Patmos to essentially just, die. And it was
Suffer,
in that struggle and in that position and in all of that emotional and physical pain that God revealed revelation to him. And then I'd be interested in knowing how he had such visions and knowledge of what was coming and seeing, what New Jerusalem was going to look like, and the letdown or the awakening whenever he realized that he was still his feet were still in the same place. Going from that encounter and then being brought back to the physical environment that he was in. Just how he maintained his endurance and his integrity and still strived every day, um, in spite of.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind, so isn't it said that he was around 13 when he was with Jesus as a disciple, or like he was younger?
Yeah, we just know that he was the youngest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um the
I
one
think
that
he was the youngest, Peter was the oldest, is my understanding. But we do know that I kind of heard some theologians talk about, at the time of the thing being like 19 years old, but it's just kind of um in that day and time they reference, even with, Nathaniel, Bartholomew, and Andrew, and Simon, they were referenced by their fathers.
uh
So, our day and age, we're not 25, 30-year-olds who are referencing us, in our fathers' names. We're
right.
not walking around saying, "Oh, that's John Wesley, son of."
John Wesley, but
Yeah. So, it's kind of, it's just one of those things that we never probably really actually know. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Um all right. All right. This is the second to last question before we
Okay.
wrap it up. Because I don't know this about you, and it's gonna affect our the future.
Okay. All right.
Pineapples on pizza.
I'm a pretty plain type of person. I like pepperoni with stuff. I like stuffed crust
Okay.
pepperoni from Little Caesars.
Right. So you're fine with the hot and ready.
The only thing I like Hawaiian is the beaches.
I've never been to Hawaii.
Okay. Would you like beaches?
No.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
you may like
Uh
pineapples then.
no, no, I like pineapples and I like pizza, but they're good enough on their own not to be combined. But somebody thought at one point in time that, hey, I wonder if chocolate and peanut butter would be
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
Reese's. Uh, but yeah, I think that I wonder how many serial killers liked the pineapples on the. I wonder if there's any correlation between pineapples on pizza and killing a bunch of people. You think?
Or they could be the happiest people in the world.
Do you know anybody that does? We could ask them. We can call them up. We could give them a call.
No, I guess maybe when people
Uh,
watch this, they can, leave us comments if they love
mhm.
pineapple pepperoni.
All right. So I'm trying to find a good one.
Okay, well, it's your final question.
This
We
is the
need
final question,
the
and
final
we're gonna
question.
wrap it up.
Yeah, I
And
thought you had this one already
you would thought
since you mentioned it
so,
to me before.
but no, they're so generic though. Like
Yeah.
all right, Benjamin Little.
Yeah.
What? Already asked that one. Never mind. But it's so good. All right, all right. Build up question. What age were you when you found out your purpose in life?
40.
Mm-hmm. See, I would say, for me, 5 years ago, really.
Yeah.
So, or later in life.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so, well, before you take your last breath, what do you hope to accomplish on Earth while you're here?
Um, I hope that my legacy is that I cared
Mhm,
about people,
mhm,
all people, and I sought to bring us together and not separate.
Right.
You know, one of my favorite reminders to people is the Constitution says, "We the people," not those people, not the people we like, but we the
Right.
people.
We the people.
And so that's what I hope is remembered about me, that what I did, that I used my trials and tribulations to help other people.
Well, Ben, I think what you have built and are building will live on way past us.
Yeah.
I see it, and I think that's a amazing thing you've done. Well, that's the first episode of Transformed.
Second.
Or what was this? The first episode, second part.
Oh,
This wraps up the whole episode.
yeah.
Um, but and I thought it would be only fitting, uh, because it's brought to you by Transformative Living. So the first episode's part one you can watch.
Yep.
You'll see this, it'll be there. And you can also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I don't know, the ending gonna tell you all about that. And something cool about the ending, when you hear it, you'll hear a song that Evan Bailey played. He came through the
Yep.
program, and he's playing.
Yep. It's definitely a pretty cool thing to have that memory, not only forever, but also, you know, as part of our introduction and closing of this podcast.
Recording. Uh,
The views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the hosts, producers, or our sponsors.